Are you able to hear me? So as I already said, tomorrow also you'll be having the same Zoom link, woman. But from Tuesday onwards, your Zoom link will be changing every day, which will reach your mailbox 30 minutes before the actual session. Okay. So you'll be using that link to get connected from Tuesday onwards. So every day that link will change and you can attend the demo sessions on the change links for another 1 week. And specifically within that particular time, you can take a decision whether you can be part of the sessions or you can be quitting the sessions. So you're most welcome to attend these sessions up to another 1 week, definitely. Okay. So you just don't need to worry about that. After that, you can take your decisions. So let's see what's just waiting for us in the next level of our discussions. Okay. So one of the biggest question that comes is, what is machine learning? Now, whatever I'm providing you at this level is the fundamental definitions, what you should understand to keep your scope very clear in learning this particular course, man. Okay. Certain terminology, what we are speaking at this level, it may not be immediately expected to be on the expert side of your understanding. Just catch up with the corresponding terminology, check your responsibilities, and keep your focus very clear. If you're intending to become an AI ML engineer, what exactly is the way you need to make up yourself, get prepared to the demand what the industry will expect from you. Now, people keep all these terms into the same basket in their work. But technically, you should understand that machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, which technically has main focus on creating systems that are capable of learning from the data, making the predictions, and then making the decisions. So then what is the difference between AI? In AI, we just try to give the data as a conditional state. Means we may have some small amount of one or two values, test values you can call them as. And on those test values, we just try to give the value upon the existing conditions and we just take decisions. We just take decisions. If this condition is true, what to do? If this condition is false, what to do? That's all. Means it's containing only what? AI contains only what? Making decisions depending upon the supplied value. Am I clear? Am I clear? But AI is not supplied with continuous data that is coming from the environment of the operations. Means AI may not take the values directly from a real-time execution or a real-time store. Be very clear. So when you come to machine learning, we make an environment that can supply the data continuously. That's where majority of the they come to the practicality of implementation. They technically depend upon IoT. As a developer, when you're developing, you may not need any kind of IoT constructs. If you have a sample of data in a repository, you can take the data from the repository, you can test it. After your code development is completed, you want to push it into practical machine learning. Means real-time execution in machine learning, then technically you will start taking the data from an operational live environment, which is generally done through IoT. Therefore, once you say that a machine learning project has come for implementation, 99% of the time, you will be having an IoT integrated architecture. Am I clear? Second thing, if IoT integrated architecture is implemented, that architecture is generating any kind of data that is fundamentally live oriented. Am I correct? But the data is structured or unstructured. Can you just give me an idea? The data generated by IoT is structured or unstructured by nature? Unstructured, totally unstructured. Now, can you really do any kind of real-time analytics without understanding the rule of the metadata on that unstructured data? No. That is the reason once you say you're coming into the world of machine learning in practical implementation, on one side your project extends to IoT, on the other side your project extends to big data with data engineering. When it comes to the concept of the continuous streaming of the data that should happen, IoT is interconnected to one of the data engineering repositories. In between this IoT and the data engineering repositories, we may be having the support of the cloud. When you're just doing development, as a developer, when you're doing development, all this infrastructure is not an essentiality for you. Am I clear? So do try to understand. So the data as it is coming continuously, from that data, you apply a machine learning algorithm. In AI, we don't try to push any algorithm seriously. We only push the formula that is fundamentally looking essential to transform that particular data to an expected decision-making requirement. Now, this formula or function, what you call, it should be optimized. So that optimization state of the implementation is done using machine learning by applying machine learning algorithms, where this algorithm makes the system of AI to learn from the existing data, then make certain predictions. These predictions, which are values, are given to the decision-making system, and the system will immediately tell that prediction is true or the prediction is false. If it is false, how much distance is there from the actual prediction to the real value? And then the system becomes a live AI. Are you understanding this flow? So if you just learn blindly some algorithms, and if you're coming into the industry, can you see anything that's really great happening in the process, man? So just be very clear on the scope and the process. So all the above three activities should happen without being explicitly programmed. Once the developer completes his development and a model has been designed, when we push this model for implementation, after that we are not going to touch that environment directly at any point of time. Means explicit programming will never be done once it's finalized. Therefore, I told you, once one AI project gets completed, do you have any scope to work in that particular project as a developer anymore? No. Okay, your support, service, these engineers will be there. But I don't think you're looking for any support and service career once again. If support and service is taken by you, once again, after some time, that environment will become autonomous and you're thrown outside. So AI developers always should have one mindset that if this project is done and it is implemented to the scope of expectation and it is in automation, we are immediately pushed out of that project going into the next one. When you can expect yourself to go to the next one, man? There are two things here. Your company should have the ability of getting continuous clients to sell your ideas. Or you should have the ability of researching and learning for something new. Am I clear? So, something new in the same domain, something new in any other domain. If that kind of mindset is not there, even AI people will have complaints in the coming days saying that I gave such a lot of intelligence to my company, but my company removed me. Your company cannot keep you on stereotypic intelligence, what you are having. You are safe only for that particular project. Am I clear? So don't you think that in the coming years, even the employee contractual agreements will change because of AI? That's how people are saying AI will influence every area. Do understand that? So machine learning models, they have the ability to learn from patterns. How from the data that is basically they are exposed to and they go on improving performance over time. Because your model and the algorithm are very perfectly fit with deep optimization that is applied, don't you think that your machine goes on learning from the existing patterns and then becomes more and more and more accurate after some time, which can technically lead to the next field called as what? Deep learning. Means someday your machine will come to such a kind of state where by the additional state of optimization, what as a developer you are supplying, it can become autonomous and it can get the common sense of taking the other decisions. So if your project is done with AI, then you should show the ability in your company that you are now ready to make the project get into ML. You're safe. Once your project in ML is completed, then you should try to show the industry that this project on a construct of learning for certain amount of time, I can make it become, I can make it get into deep learning perspective for self-learning ability, what it can take. That's how you can always sustain yourself. Am I clear? So the primary goal of machine learning is what? The primary goal of the first primary goal of machine learning is develop algorithms which have the capability to generalize from examples. So there is one world of people who are working on developing new algorithms from the existing algorithms to see that those algorithms can have the capability of, to generalize from the existing examples of data and examples of implementation. That is what is basically nothing but a generative AI. That's what is basically nothing but the construct and composition of what? Agentic AI, which are becoming tools slowly. But don't you think that to develop new algorithms, we need which kind of skilled people, man? Come on. To develop new algorithms in AI with machine learning, we need which kind of skilled people? People having deep mathematical knowledge, people having deep understanding of the physics, people having deep understanding of chemistry, people having deep understanding of genetics. Are you getting me? Means specific area of the domain of science with mathematics. Am I clear? Be very clear. So in the coming years, can you understand the pressure on the domain knowledge people also? If suppose I want to develop one implementation project in AI with ML for deep learning abilities for select a heart monitoring system. Now, can I really become a cardiologist, man? No. Can a cardiologist suddenly become a mathematician? No. Can a mathematician become a programmer in any language very quickly? Immediately? Definitely difficult. Can a programmer immediately understand the cardiology, mathematics, and the other aspects that are integrated into this very effectively? No. So we need all these people who are domain experts, subject experts in those areas and research experts who will speak about what they are doing and who should understand all this integrated stuff. Who should understand all this integrated stuff? Come out with the process. No, data scientists. Now, what industry is expecting from the data scientist are you understanding now? Data science is a 45 course in Hyderabad, Amirpet. I know thousands of people who learn data science and they don't know what they are actually expected to do in the industry. And they're even looking today, eagerly thinking that I will get a job. It is a data scientist who will act as a liaison between the developers in AI and ML to those subject matter experts. But as a developer, you should also have some knowledge to understand what your data scientist is telling. Yes or no? So it's a multi-skilled environment. It's a multi-skilled environment where all the people together, if they can come, they can make the project to go for success. These kind of projects with all these integrations perfectly happening to the expected synchronization, are they existing in the market today? Any teams are there in the market today that can have this kind of tight integration perfectly with a broad propagated synchronization to make the project to get successful? They are available, but they're only available in scientific implementation, space research, medical research. In these areas, it's happening. But what about the commercialized sector of the AI? The normal market of the software industry, can you expect these people to be available? No. That 20%, the best intelligent people are already there in the other companies like Siemens, Motorola, Philips, Panasonic, Boeing, Airbus. They're already there. NASA, Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. But what about the commercialization factor that is expected here? So, why many number of commercialized AI projects and ML projects fail? Are you understanding? That's what I'm saying. Once again, if anything goes wrong in the process of understanding what AI ML needs, the world once again goes back to scientific projects only, which are already happening since 1980s itself. So we need to have that ability. So I'm not saying you should become a mathematician, but as a developer, when some mathematical concept is being explained by your data scientist or the core subject matter expert, do you know in your programming language which library, what if I pick up, I can convert this mathematical requirement into a programmatical approach? Am I clear? I've seen many number of AI guys and select data scientists and this will going and learning serious mathematics. Not bad. But do you need that serious mathematics at the age of 40, 45? Think. What is the alternate way you can understand mathematics that you should concentrate? Don't deviate. Can you become a researcher in physics area within 45, 50 days, man? But what a researcher in physics is trying to tell is requirement of inputs, is requirement of the process, and the output, if you can understand, integrated with the mathematical formulas that should be applied over there, and what machine learning algorithm you can apply where these mathematics can run continuously, looking like that is important. Leaving all this, you just run and learn all the other technologies, working for 20 years in a programming environment, expecting that in 1 or 2 months you'll become a mathematical expert, then physics, then chemistry. Come on, don't do all these foolish tasks. So the main goal of machine learning is clear. So there are people who are doing it, no doubt. But those algorithms, can you apply them as a developer? And apply the generalized knowledge to new and unseen data. Whatever new data is generating in the world and whatever unseen data is basically available or existing, then can you generalize this idea and knowledge on that to get the intelligence once again? These are the two primary goals of machine learning. Remember that. So, sir, I want to become a ML developer. Good. Now, I'm not saying that you should develop new algorithms, but at least you should have the ability of understanding the new algorithms that are getting developed or not. And programmatically apply those generalized knowledge that is generated out of your particular machine learning process to the corresponding new data that is getting generated in the world, or maybe unseen data that is already existing. Therefore, at its core, machine learning involves designing algorithms that can automatically improve from experience. The algorithm's performance gets better with exposure to more data. This is basically called as what for a developer? Making anything more better from the existing criteria of understanding. We call that as a developer what? Optimization. As a machine learning developer, I should have the basic ability of identifying the new patterns. By analyzing the data, the model recognizes underlying trends or patterns. So whether it is a new pattern or it is already existing pattern, how I can know as a developer, can you tell me? Within the model, we'll keep conditional checks or validation checks for pattern recognition. Now, when that pattern recognition is done, if it is exactly the same, it goes in one direction. If it is not the same pattern, it goes another direction. The other direction is nothing but the else part, where we will collect that into the log files and we'll study the log files whenever we have any new data, how much of new patternized data is getting generated. Don't you think that we pass this particular data to the domain experts and tell them to study once again? It's a coordination of everybody, man. So don't come into this into AI ML industry thinking that I am the only one who can do all these things. No, that software engineer companies' attitudes, please leave them. Once your patterns are identified, then if you found that there are new patterns that are existing, send them for reanalyzation. If the pattern is same, then start making decisions. The system uses these patterns to make predictions or decisions without human intervention. So machine learning is basically machine learning is basically lying at the intersection of statistics. The reason generally people say, sir, I should learn statistics. Use your words very carefully. Who should learn statistics, man? Who should learn statistics? Tell me. If you are a core mathematician in academics, you should learn statistics. If you are an AI and ML person, can you tell me what is the difference? In your AI, you should learn how to understand statistics. In ML, you should learn how to understand the different patterns that are generating out of those statistics. Be very clear. Are you getting me? Am I clear with you or confusing? So, no doubt, statistics is a branch of mathematics dealing with the data collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation. Now, these all areas are necessary for even mathematicians also. But data collection, what mathematicians will do? They take some 10 records or 20 records, basically from the in and around environment by conducting some questionnaire interviews, and they will work on the data by keeping the mathematical formula. Am I correct? Now, for AI engineer, data collection is the data that is taken by the mathematician from the basic sample of the world by conducting some interviews or anything. That data, is it enough for AI developer? Mostly it's enough. Okay. Those 20 records, 30 records are enough for AI guy. Why? Because AI people, are they taking it directly for implementation? No. They're checking whether the formula works properly to get the pattern or not. Yes or no? Only decision making is happening or not, we'll check. Yes or no? So the data is generally enough for AI guys. But for machine learning people, don't you think that you need more amount of data? Hello. So the first level project of AI, once we try to give it to some kind of machine that is just working to check whether the same pattern of data is getting generated, that log data with 200 or 300 records is enough for ML guy. Am I correct? But if it has to be implemented in real time with machine learning, don't you think that the data collection is possible only either by existing databases or existing file systems where the data is collected in the form of Excel files or .csv or .txt, whatever it is, or from existing environments or programs that have been already developed on that from the log files? Or if nothing of this is existing, don't you think that we need an IoT through which the data should be collected? Now, instead of concentrating on all these things, what that have to be done as a software engineer, how the data collection should be done, if it is a database, if it is a file system, or if it is an IoT. Imagine you're sitting and seriously folding your hands and catching a pen and pencil, opening a new 200 pages book, and you're learning statistics from scratch, sitting in some mathematics classman. And finally, after learning all your AI using that kind of mathematics, you're coming and saying that I don't know what to do. Who told you to become a student of mathematics? Check your area of your academics, your experience, and then take a proper approach. The same way your analysis. Here we should know whether the collected data is correct data or incorrect data, because we don't have any structure here, metadata here. So don't you think that you need some data cleaning activities now, interpretation activities, presentation activities? Sincerely, you're sitting and learning what is a formula for mean, median, and mode. It is necessary only to the level of your requirement, but no more deeper into that. Check your responsibilities carefully. Then comes the data analysis. As a mathematician, you are doing what level of data analysis will be differently, and it should be definitely different if you are a database developer. So you should have the ability of process of inspecting, cleaning, modeling data to discover useful information and support decision making. Therefore, at some level, say you're an AI ML engineer, they will test your skills in databases, because every select statement you write in database is one kind of data analysis task. Am I clear? Therefore, deep in SQL, they will test you, especially with Oracle like database. They will test you, not generally any other database, because Oracle like database, it has more number of features and facilities for data analytics when compared with other databases. Then clean the data. That's one area where, along with the databases, they also try to test you. A partial amount of interview can go into Excel also. Coming to the cleaning of the data, Python. Modeling of the data, Python. Discover useful patterns, working with pandas, NumPy. Everything you learn is having one area, and all this process, what we're doing in data analysis, is called as, in machine learning, before you apply a machine learning algorithm, the prior step of that is called as EDA, exploratory data analysis. Then They check your ability of computer science. When you come to the ability of computer science, they definitely check your ability in understanding the construct of the computers, algorithm, programming languages, data structures for problem solving. Sir, why I need this now? To understand and optimize your data in a better way, to make your data to load in the memory, occupy the memory in a more optimized way, utilizing the sources and resources like storage devices, understanding the network and its latency in expecting the speed of the data to be flown, what best algorithms you keep in data structures in computer sciences, you can give an optimized hardware and a software architecture such that data analysts can work with their machine learning algorithms very effectively, even if it is billion records or 1,000 times of those billion records. I've seen many students in AML, they join and they start learning suddenly data structures, which is purely computer science oriented. How it is going to help you, you should understand. So I think from the basics of statistics to becoming a high level computer science expert who can think in optimizing the systems, not the data, don't you think the journey? But can you really become suddenly one computer science specialist, understanding the algorithms in computer science and programming and making yourself data structures oriented with respect to the optimization at the architectural level? Never you being a programmer in computer science technologies effectively. Restrict yourself. Therefore, if somebody is learning data structures in detail with the design of algorithms in computer sciences, he's having a great scope to come and work in the projects of AML projects. He may not be directly an ML engineer or AI engineer, but industry will use him where? In making optimized systems to be developed at the core of architecture, networking, processor based. So many things are there, man. So many things are there. So at least you need to cover which levels. Can you tell me now? Can you people tell me at least which levels you should be in a position to clear these first two levels? If you want to be a core AI ML guy, these two layers. Okay, means you are on which side of AI? Application side of AI. Okay, is that point clear to you? I'm very slow in my discussion one because these are all the points that should tell us we need to keep our abilities in which way. Else, any syllabus you follow and you work out, that doesn't really works out. Therefore, the learning process when you're trying to pick up for the construct of your AI is an integration, man. It's an integration of different fields. It's not just happening like that. Are you getting me? If all these fields together work together, it's machine learning. Now imagine blindly you're trying to learn everything now when it should complete. Is that integration is clear to you? So it's imagine that you are very strong in statistics, man. Means you're having a team of data analysts and computer science experts who are working in your project. And imagine you're not synchronizing with these teams properly. Can you expect a machine learning project to be completed? No. That's the day when you could be thrown out. These two teams will say, no, this is not happening. We are proposing something and the statistician is not understanding. The same way, you are a core data analyst. Don't you think that you need to synchronize with these people definitely to make this machine learning happen now? Imagine your ability of synchronizing with the team is not going properly. You're out. Can you expect one person to have the whole lot of ability in all these areas? No. But generally, we are keeping one person in this place. Who is that? Data scientist. So can you expect any Tom, Dick and Harry with very fundamental experience because he's working in industry for 20 years can come and become a data scientist? Man? That was happening in the last 7, 8 years, 9 years. It was happening. That's the reason today industry is shaking the foundation of those people only. People in experience, just because of their influence, they started putting themselves into the data science positions and they start saying that I will break this project to the ability of it, but it was not happening. So today industry is understanding. Let us keep these people outside. Let us get the new blood inside the industry now. The learning process for machine learning involves what? First, after you do exploratory data analysis, your mathematics and everything, you should get into the construct of creating a model. Okay. Which kind of model? Not ER models and all those things. Building a machine learning model based on the provided data and algorithms to solve the problem. Means as your new data comes, your algorithm will handle that input of the data, process of the data and output. If it is generating how much accuracy of the percentage of the pattern is looking exactly to the need of the automation. If your client says that 70% accuracy is enough, you're successful. It all depends on how much your client is ready to trade off on the accuracy. Okay. That model you should develop. Means once you leave the process, the data comes in, transforms, processes, and gives the output of the pattern. Finish. You have built a model. That model will just try to push it into a proper integrated architecture. And consider the historical data that is continuously getting generated and training the model on historical data, where we try to apply machine learning model where we make the model to learn in a better way from the historical label data, which can take predictions and decisions, slowly making the model move towards what? Deep learning. Continuously, you should evaluate the model performance on new data. As the new data is coming, we should continuously check how the model is reacting to that. So testing the machine learning model on unseen data and assess that particular data for accuracy and generation ability. Now, don't you think that the current testing engineers, they can have a different world in the next level? Many times testing people generally call me and they say, sir, I'm having tough time in the industry and hearing that our testing jobs will be lost. Your testing jobs will never be lost, man. You should develop the ability of evaluating the model performance upon the data. So your testing methodologies will change. Your testing methodologies will change now. If you're not ready for that change of the methodology and the mechanism of the testing industry, you will lose your job. So here everybody is having a piece of cake. When we are ready to understand the ability of the attitude of the ML industry, is this particular structure is clear to you? There are 6 different kinds of aspects on which AI ML will basically work now. So once again, on these particular aspects, I want you to understand the differences. Okay. So just watch carefully now. The first construct you should understand is by definition what exactly you will get. So AI is basically what? The science of making machine intelligent. ML is what? An extension of that, where a method to enable machine to learn from the existing data. So in AI, manual intervention will be there or it will not be there. It will be there. Means inputs are given by generally the manual feed, and for each input it will work. But if the data comes continuously, if it can think of learning and understanding and working by itself, it's machine learning. Then as DL is basically what? A subset of ML using neural networks to mimic the human brain. So you can definitely say that machine AI, DL is a subset of ML. And finally, when you come to data science, it deals with the data collection, processing, and analysis. Means how best the data can be collected, how the data can be qualified for the sake of the requirement of these particular projects. All that area comes into the criteria. Then coming to the scope, it broad and encompasses all intelligent systems. Anything in the world you feel you can make it intelligent, it will come into this area. Now, can we make that particular intelligence to be continuously applied or not? Focuses on using algorithms to learn from the data. ML. Focus on deep neural networks for learning complex patterns that may be getting generated out of that particular data. So, what is the job of data scientists now? Analyzing data to extract insights and drive decision making in a better way. Can a data scientist work without having ability of understanding all these three fields? Hello. Industry has made multiple number of people sit in those positions for last 10 years. Projects are continuously failing. Today they are taking decisions. So remember that particular construct. The third thing is approach. Rule based. It's simple. AI is rule based, heuristic, or data driven. If you're a programmer in the industry in any programming language or databases for last 5, 6 years or 10 years, don't you think that you are ready for AI? Then data driven algorithms for learning from patterns, ML. So until your AI is not generating data driven patterns, can really machine learning get successful, man? See where we are doing mistakes. Are you understanding now? We are doing mistakes and in learning, and we are complaining on the industry. And whatever data you're driving and you're generating in the machine learning on the learning patterns, are we not arranging the data in multiple layers now? And multi-layered neural networks for feature and learning and feature engineering is happening in deep learning. Now, what the data science is doing here utilizes various tools and techniques, including ML for data analysis. Means at a point of time, data science slowly becomes what man tool based. If I can develop a tool that can technically understand the things that are interconnected and associated to these three fields, don't you think that I can make data science field somewhere at one stage becoming automated directly, autonomous? Then coming to the data requirement, the next area is data requirement. Can work with less data and rule-based systems. I told you already. Requires a considerable amount of data for training in ML. Maybe 50 records, 100 records, 200 records. It's enough. But can DL happen with that kind of data? Man? No. Requires vast amounts of data and computational power. That's the reason when you come to the deep learning only, you need GPUs, quantum computing. You need real-time data coming from the cloud or maybe IoT, so many things. That means deep learning is only driven through data that continuously gets generated. So can we test ML projects? Any test we have? Hello, are you there? So till ML, do you need very hardcore systems for working, man? No. Coming to the data science, what is happening? Data is essential, may not require large data sets for every task. Data essentialities in data science, but they will never deal with any kind of millions and trillions of records continuously. Are you getting me? For every task, they don't need that. Coming to the computation power, may not need significant computation depending upon the approach. I have found, see, I'll tell you some very strange things. Uh, Nowadays, I think you have some passion courses like uh, BTech, AI, ML, and all these things. I've seen parents calling me after they join their children. Sir, my son is asking a laptop with a configuration what he gave me. I found that it is costing around 2.5 lakh to 3 lakhs or 5 lakhs. Is it essential? From my side, I'll say not necessary. Immediately, I'll become a big enemy of the student. But practicality do you need? Now, coming to ML, you need a moderate computation power of model training. Your i5 series processors with 8 GB to 16 GB machines are enough for your ML. You're getting into deep learning, requires high computational power GPUs and TPUs. Now, you know, everybody cannot purchase. If I tell you suddenly your budget for your understanding of deep learning and everything is around 4 to 5 lakhs, how many people can really think on this? Man? That's an area where you can just take some amount of data, work on Google Colab. There are facilities. There are facilities. So, as a person coming out of the institutional activities, you are expected to at least work up to which level, man? ML. ML, if it is perfectly implemented and that algorithm is used, that algorithm is in optimization for DL. You're not answering. So even if you don't do DL, seriously by taking any real-time system with GPU and all these things, will the industry tries to push you away? No, it never. Why? Because DL mostly depends on what? Computation power. Am I clear? You're working on only multi-layers. Now, if suppose your project needs 1,000 layers, even if you can work with your machine learning with 2 layers, is it not enough? Hello, what is your opinion? Even if you can work on 2 layers and you understand the process, is it not enough? For 2 layers, mostly your CPU constructs are enough, man. Be very clear about that. Are you getting me? People are unnecessarily trying to make themselves into the trouble. Where your graphical processing units, GPUs are nothing graphical processing units. TPUs are somewhat more than that, which are generally called as tensor processing units. So TPUs are created by Google guys. Are you getting me? So TPUs are basically designed for implementing very high level tensor computations, means very great math behind the deep learning, very great mathematical standards that are applied behind deep learning. When you want to implement them, then you need TPUs. Rohit, absolutely enough. i5 with 16 GB RAM, you can deal with your ML definitely. Okay. For deep learning, technically, you should not work on your laptops or anything. Even I will work on some standardized environments to work with the deep learning, which are available, especially we'll shift into Google Colab by that time. Okay. So up to GPUs, you can even have on your personal machines, man. The moment you come to the tensor processing units, you have to shift definitely into cloud-based architectures. Now, coming to the data science people, they require varying levels of computational power. Depending upon the complexity, they may be on any area. Am I clear? Interpretability. Rule-based. Purely rule-based systems are interpretable, but some data-driven systems technically may take something else. You don't need to worry about that. Now, machine learning are algorithm-oriented. They are purely working on feature identification. Coming to the deep learning, they are purely on neural networks and they are purely black box implementations where you can't interpret them. Data science people are only focusing on analysis and insights, making interpretability very, very practically crucial. Now, what is the application complexity? Ranges from simple systems like rule-based chatbots to complex systems like autonomous vehicles. Coming to the machine learning used for prediction, classification, optimization. Coming to the deep learning specifically suited for image recognition, speech processing, and natural language processing constructs. Data science applications are seriously focusing on collecting, cleaning, and analyzing data, making them very less complex to the construct of the process. There is a basic tablement to have a great difference. I hope you got more clarity behind the differences of these areas or any great confusions now. Hello. First, generate this clarity. Are you getting me? If you don't generate this clarity, you'll unnecessarily put your money and you go on saying that, so the things are going out of my control. I don't know what is that. That's the reason you touch anybody in the market, man, 60% to 70%. People are in the greatest confusion. What I did, why I did, and I don't know why the industry is not accepting. Now it's time for us to just have a clarity on the types of machine learning that generally comes in. Once again, these are all the basic definitions I'm closing because these are the terminologies that will be disturbing the students in the market when they are learning. Are you getting me? So do recognize stress. You just leave the pressure on my brain, man. You just take the approach and get ready to take the approach very properly. Are you getting me? So catch up on the constructs, get yourself into the process slowly because until these things are not clear, I'm not going to keep into any programming. Trust me. Why? Because there's no meaning also. I'll also show you some part of Excel in the process. Okay. We'll be touching some part of Excel, why it is essential, where we can use it, and where your industry will make you use it. On the fundamental basics, we'll check. Just leave it on my shoulders. People are not having the programming language ability of Python or anything. You just don't worry, man. Okay, I'll make you get through those areas. It is a continuous learning. While I'm dealing with my programming in my machine learning or AI also, parallelly, you should go on practicing your Python very seriously because when I'm showing you my AI also, I will show you industrial standard coding. Even with fundamental Python, I can complete the course. I'll not do that. We'll definitely deal with oops mechanisms, construct of exceptions, how we should use so many things level by level. I'm putting you through the process. Are you catching the point? People are confirming your seats. The self-learning videos will be shared on the priority basis. Don't worry about that. Am I clear? Day by day, I hope your clarity levels are increasing with the construct of how you need to get into the learning process. Can I expect that? Keep that spirit. By the time we'll once again meet in tomorrow's session, as I already told you, tomorrow is a last meeting link which will be working with the same linkman. From Tuesday, your meeting links will change, but don't worry. On the changed meeting links also, you can attend till the end of this week. So you have totally this week of time technically to see that you are thinking of paying the fees or not. Okay. Savita, you just don't worry. Whatever I'm discussing with you, they will be coming into your mailboxes the moment we are confirming through your particular batch as notes. Okay. If you take books are not bad, but at this level, if you take books, because they're organized in a different state of mindset by each author under his research. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Once again with you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Take care of yourself. Have a great day. Good night. Have a great Sunday.